Hi, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a look inspired by Pearl from Steven Universe and picking out some custom eyeshadows to do a look. So if that sounds good to you, I hope that you'll stay and watch the video. Before we get started, a little bit of background. If you're not familiar, Steven Universe is a show that aired on Cartoon Network for 5 seasons and then had a spin-off movie and a kind of like epilogue show, I guess you could say. So I'm a huge fan. I've got my Pearl shirt on now. I'm not quite sure if you can see it super well. This show was created by Rebecca Sugar. I mentioned her in my first video in this series because she also worked on Adventure Time, which is like my all-time favorite show. So now that we've kind of got that out of the way, I'm going to insert a picture of Pearl right now so that way you can see the inspiration for my look today. You can see she's got kind of like a soft pastel type of vibe going on. So I'm hoping to pull from those blues, the pink, like the kind of like coral color of her hair, and then that bright yellow. So with that, let's go ahead and start putting some makeup on my face. So the first thing that I'm going to do is put on some primer. Today I'm going to use the e.l.f. Jelly Pop Primer. They actually just brought this collection back, so it is available. This is a great dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip. I also have that primer, totally love it. I think that this is a really good dupe, but if you don't like scents in your makeup products, this is not for you. It smells very much like watermelon candy. Can we just take a second though to appreciate this little air bubble kind of moving around? It's kind of fun. But okay, let's go ahead and put this on my face. This primer on. I try to focus it around my nose, especially because this is kind of like gripping primer. Like if I press, I'm not sure if you can see, but it definitely sticks, which I love because I feel like, especially with lighter coverage foundations and things that I tend to prefer, it really helps them with longevity, which sometimes lighter coverage things have an issue with. So now that I've got that on, I'm going to go ahead and put on some foundation. If you watched my Kosas tryout video, you know that I had some store credit to spend, and I actually ended up getting a combination pack that was on sale of the Kosas face tint and the Kosas concealer. So I've worn both a few times now. Guys, I love this face tint. Oh my gosh. I've heard mixed things about it online. For me, it looks so smooth on my skin, and it lasts well, and it has a good amount of coverage for a face tint. I've tried a whole bunch. If you're interested in hearing my thoughts on all of the different types of face tints I've tried, let me know. But it's a really good shade match for me. It doesn't look too yellow once it's all blended out like it did with that swatch in the video. And I really, really enjoy it. So let's go ahead and put this on right now. One thing about this is you definitely want to shake it before you start using it, and I find I prefer just putting this on with my hands. You can maybe see it's very liquidy. Oh my gosh, I have to be really careful. And so yeah, I just put it on, and you can see great coverage. Not sure if you can see, but I feel like this skin tint really evens out my skin tone and looks really smooth. Oh, let me blend around my nose first. Oh my gosh. But if I get up close, hopefully you can kind of see. But I think it looks really good. And now let's go ahead and put on some concealer. So like I just mentioned, I'm going to be using the Kosas Revealer Concealer. This is the shade 0.5N, the lightest one, because, you know, I'm pretty fair, so I just do just the smallest amount, like a little dab underneath each eye, and then spread it out using a brush. And today I'm going to be using a brush from the Sephora collection. It's the Airbrush Concealer Brush. Okay, so hopefully you can see how that looks. I really like the color of this concealer. I like the coverage. I do find that I need to set it down. So for today, I'm going to be using this like little mini I have of the Charlotte Tilbury powder. I got this as a sample from Sephora. I really like it. So I'm gonna just tap out any creasing that happened underneath the eyes, and then we can go right in and just apply a little bit. So I just use a little bit of powder underneath my eyes to set down this concealer. I don't want to set down the rest of my face because I'm going to go in with cream products. So the first cream product that I'm going to use is this little cream blush palette from e.l.f. I love this thing. It's $8. Mine looks nasty, so don't judge that. But it's $8 and it performs really similarly to the Tower 28 blushes to me. They're not quite as dewy looking on the skin, but they both set down really well. They're both kind of thicker in consistency, really pigmented, and they last really long. So I'm gonna go ahead and go in, I think with this pink shade down at the bottom. I think that'll match best with what I'm kind of envisioning for the eyes later on. So I'm just gonna tap my brush in just a tiny bit, and of course I'm using the EcoTools stippling brush because I freaking love these. I have 3 of them. That you can find them on sale at Ulta all of the time, and I find that it's like the best brush to apply cream blush. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so there is the blush all done. I think it looks nice, looks very rosy, which is just what I was looking for, and I love this blush palette so much, I cannot speak highly enough. Next up on the roster is Cream Highlight. I'm going to be using this one from Flesh. It's in the shade Startle. I love this cream highlight. Again, I've tried quite a few cream highlights. This one is one that I just really enjoy. And the way I apply it is I just take it in the stick and I dab it on. And then I blend it out with my finger. So the things that I love about Pearl, Pearl is definitely tied for my favorite character in Steven Universe with Garnet. They both are amazing. They're both really aspirational, strong female characters. I don't want to spoil anything from the show, so that's all I'll say about that. But Pearl specifically has such a wonderful arc throughout the show. The growth that she has to becoming independent is something that I really relate to in my own, personal life. And also her motherly, caring instincts I also really relate to. I used to be a teacher. I always have been very concerned with caring for others around me, and so that part of her personality really sticks out to me as making her, a really inspirational character. But, sometimes with more empathetic characters, they can tend to be perceived as weak, but she does a really good job of balancing both being empathetic and caring, but also being really strong-willed and an excellent fighter. So that combination makes her just such an inspirational character to me. So I've got this highlight on. It's pretty subtle, not unnoticeable subtle, but I love it because there's no like sparkle in it, and I think it's just a really nice color to kind of go with Pearl, because she's got, you know, kind of like that pearly type of, you know, vibe going on, which makes a lot of sense. So yeah, I think that this gives a very similar look to the skin, and I love it. So that's it for the base. Let's go ahead and set this with some setting spray. I'm going to be using the MAC Fix Plus with the pearly gold finish, since, you know, all about the pearl. Also, peep the pearl earrings too, in honor of that badass female character. So let's go ahead and spray the face. Okay, and while that dries, let's go pick out this palette. All right, so I've got my little palette in front of me, and I've pulled out some potential shades already for each of the colors I'm thinking for Pearl. I'm thinking of just doing kind of a quad, nothing like too complicated. I think it'd be really fun to just do a bright pastel look. And honestly, I'm leaning towards a more matte look, but I did pull out a few shimmers just in case. So for the yellows, this first one is from Terra Moon, and it is the shade Twilight. It's from their Pastel Matte collection. It's a really beautiful color, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go with this one, but I'll go ahead and swatch them out. Look how bright that is. Holy goodness. Next up, we've got another indie. This is from Shine by SD Cosmetics, and this is Reserve number 7 from their Reserve collection. Another gorgeous shade. Oh my gosh. If we were doing a sparkly look, absolutely yes. Like, these are so beautiful. Next, we've got yet another indie. These are actually all indies. This is from Looksy Beauty, and this is the shade Nectar. And it's actually kind of similar, a little bit more yellow and less shifty. I'm not sure if you can see the shift that the Shine by SD has on camera, but they're similar. Again though, I'm thinking I'm gonna go matte. We're just watching these for fun. And then this last one is from Lethal Cosmetics. This one is my least favorite. It's pretty ding-dang chonky and like not in the beautiful like sparkly type of way, just kind of like a not super great type of way. It does have a little bit of a pink shift, which is kind of cool. I'm not sure if you can see that, but this shade is Inhabit. So I'm definitely just gonna say straight up, gonna go with the Twilight from Terra Moons. So we have 4 depotted shades from ColourPop. They look really similar to each other. If you've seen my ABH video that I just put up recently, you know how I feel about this. I hate when brands dupe themselves. This one's got some mega hard pan. I'm not sure if that'll focus, but you can maybe see it's got some pretty bad hard pan. So this one is out. I might actually get rid of that shadow. This one I really love, but I think it might be a little too neon. It's pretty bright, but it's a really fun color. So let's go ahead and swatch that one. Oh, look how neon that is. That is gorgeous. Next we have a little bit more of a subdued one. This one feels really silky, and so I love it for that reason. So there's that one. And then lastly, we've got this one, which is a little darker, which I think is gonna be a little too dark for what we need. Pinky swatches, they're a little ugly, so bear with me. Oh boy. Yeah, that one's a lot darker, so I'm thinking that this one is gonna be our winner. Next up comes the fun part. So I want an all matte look, but I definitely want to incorporate shimmer maybe on the brow bone or the inner corner. So I've got all of these beautiful iridescent shades, which I think really represent Pearl. So let's go ahead and swatch some of these. So this one is, again, from Looksy Beauty, and this is the shade Salted Caramel. So I'll go ahead. Now this one, in my head, is kind of my top contender to begin with, because it's just a really perfect pearl color. It's got a white base. It leans a little blue, but like a tiny bit of pink in it too. and to me, it just is very pearl-like. Next up, we've got one from Glam Shop. So this, I'm not even gonna try to say this name, but here it is. It's an iridescent shade, and this one kind of leans a little green, yellow, and almost pink when you shift it. So it's definitely yellow, but then if I shift my hand, maybe you can see how it goes a little green and then pink on the end. Gorgeous shade. If you've not tried Glam Shop, cannot recommend enough. Next up, we've got Pretties for Your Face. This is Light as a Feather. So this one's got like a light pink base with a blue shift, so I don't think it's gonna be quite what we need today. Almost looks a little bit more green on camera, but it's a really gorgeous shade. I love that as a highlight. So next up, we've got another Glam Shop shade. This is one of their like ultra pearls, and I don't remember, I guess it's called Magical is the English version down below. This one is really pretty. It feels a little more dry and a little less like pigmented. It's just kind of a sparkle. This one definitely is a white leaning pink, but it's not quite as bright as some of those other ones. So for that reason, it's not as much of a top contender. Next up, we've got Reserve Collection. This is Reserve number 1. Freaking gorgeous. This is another one that kind of leans pinky purple. Let me swatch that out. Oh my gosh. That one also really, really pretty. But see how it's got like a way more pink base to it? So I'm still thinking the Looksy one is a little bit more white, a little bit more pearlescent. Next up, we've got Halo. This is from Looksy. This one, Looksy formula kind of changes from shade to shade depending on what you get. This one isn't quite as special as, like, compare that to this. Like, oh my gosh, not even close. This one, though, is a good inner corner highlight, adds a little something fun. It's kind of pink to blue. It's nice. And then lastly, we have another Pretties for Your Face, and this is Stardust. And in the pan, it just looks white, but on the eyes, it kind of goes a little green. So let me swatch that out. So I'm not sure if you can quite see the green. This one, just like Halo, a little bit chalkier, a little bit less like beautiful, glittery, shiny, like some of these three are. But yeah, these are the ones that we have to work with, and I think I'm gonna go with Salted Caramel for today. Okay, so all swatched out. Let's look at our pearl quad. And this time I'm gonna turn on my wrist because my hand is very sparkly now. So that's the BH Cosmetics. This is from Terra Moons. Oh, I can't get over how bright that is. Let's do this one next. This is like that peachy color from ColourPop. And then last but not least, we've got this beautiful Looksy Beauty shade in Salted Caramel. And to me, that's definitely giving pearl vibes. What do you all think? Comment down below. Does this quad give you pearl vibes? After building that palette, I went ahead and primed my eyelids and did my brows off camera. To prime my eyelids, I used the Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion in Eden, and then to do my brows, I used the NYX like brow pen in the shade Brunette, and then I used the Milk Fiber brow gel in, I believe, the shade Herb, or Herb. How do you say that? Let me know in the comments. So now we've got all that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and take that little like pearl themed quad that we made, and just like I was saying before when we were picking out eyeshadows, I think I'm gonna go like fully embrace the blue moment and really try to go for like a matte type of vibe. I also pulled out an eyeliner that I think is gonna be good, but we'll get to that after we put on some eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna kind of take this like dense but still kind of fluffy blending brush and start applying that blue shade from the BH palette all over my lid. And while I do that, I figured I could talk some more about Pearl and her character. So another reason that I really love Pearl and I think she comes to life is because the voice actress for Pearl, Dee Dee Magno-Hall, does such an amazing job. She has quite a few songs throughout the series that she sings, you know. Rebecca Sugar is known for adding amazing music to the shows that she's a part of. Both Adventure Time and Steven Universe have bangers. Oh my gosh. Even like outside of the TV show, I listen to those songs. I actually have the vinyl soundtrack for Steven Universe because I love the songs so much. And specifically, Dee Dee Magno-Hall, who plays Pearl, has the most beautiful voice. So does Estelle, who plays Garnet. They both are in competition for the top voice on Steven Universe, in my opinion. And they both have amazing songs. But Pearl has some of my favorite songs in all of Steven Universe. It's Over, Stronger in the Real Way, Do It For Her. Oh gosh, so many. She just is amazing. I love her character so much. So I'm thinking that this like seafoam blue green color is looking really good and it's kind of blending itself. I'm telling you, BH makes some really freaking good eyeshadows, you guys. So I've got that kind of blended out all over the lid. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same on this eye and then I'll be right back. I'm back and I've got this blue shade blended over both of my lids and I kind of love it. I know that the wash of pastel colors all over the lid has been really trendy recently and I can totally see why. I think it looks really nice with like light coverage skin, glowy type of skin. At the end, I might add more blush because you know me, I'm a blush queen. But for now, let's continue with the eyes. I'm actually gonna go ahead and do the lower lash line at this point, and I'm thinking I'm going to take this kind of, you know, like peachy color from a Depop'd Color Pop palette, and I just have this like kind of smudger brush. There's no brand or anything, but I'm gonna take that, just dip in a little bit into this shade, tap off all of that good extra, and then just do a really light smudge underneath my lower lashes. And you can see I didn't do anything too intense. I kind of like the idea of it just being a really light wash of color underneath the eye because the blue is so vibrant and so will the yellow. So I think I'm gonna leave it as is. Maybe I'll add a touch more, but I'm gonna go ahead and do that on the other eye, maybe add a little bit more. We'll see how it goes, and then I'll be back. I did decide to go a little bit more intense on the lower lash line. I don't think it was anything too crazy, but you can see how it's looking here. And I'm loving it so far. This pastel look is goals. And that's another reason I love Pearl. I love her design aesthetic. That like pastel kind of palette really speaks to me. I've always wanted to cosplay as Pearl. I've never cosplayed before, but it's something that is definitely on my bucket list. Like I have a list of 10 million characters that I want to cosplay as eventually. You'll probably see me do makeup looks inspired by them all throughout, you know, hopefully, you know, this series. But yeah, let's go ahead and do the next thing. So I'm gonna take this light yellow shade from Terra Moons. I believe it's called Twilight. Yeah, Twilight. So I'm gonna take that and put that in my inner corners, and I'm gonna use a brush from that same brand. I don't know what that brand is, but it's kind of just like a densely packed kind of pencil brush, and I'm gonna use that to really like carve out that inner corner. So I know that the shade is so pigmented, so I just dipped in a little bit, tap off the excess, and then let's go in and see how this looks. Hopefully we don't ruin it, but I think it'll look good. Oh yeah, that's looking good. So I definitely don't love Steven Universe quite as much as Adventure Time, but man, Rebecca Sugar really knows how to develop characters and develop a story. It kind of sucks because Steven Universe was kind of, you know, cut short by Cartoon Network. Cartoon Network has a history of doing this with their best shows. R.I.P. Infinity Train, please come back. But they had to kind of rush the back half of the story just because Cartoon Network decided to go in a different, more childish, honestly, direction. But even so, like, there were some reveals at the end that were a little rushed, but I love the show. I love the story. I love the characters. And I'm sad that it's over, but I always have hope for spin-offs of some type. And until then, we can continue doing makeup themed around the characters, listen to the music, and rewatch the show for the millionth time. And I'm thinking that this yellow is beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you guys, indie shadows do it better. Indie shadows do it better. Don't try to argue on this one, you guys. Oh my gosh, look at how pigmented this is. ColourPop could never. Yes, that's a little bit of shade. Still love ColourPop, but come on. Come on. I'm loving how this looks, and I'm enjoying the all matte. Normally, I am a shimmer type of girl. I love doing all shimmer looks, but this is kind of speaking to me. But we have to add a little bit of shimmer. We picked it out, we gotta add it. So I'm gonna take this cookie dough shade from Looksy Beauty, and I'm gonna take that on this brush from Real Techniques. It's got a really good angle. I actually think it's designed for the crease, but I love using it for the brow bone because of the shape. And I'm just gonna dip into cookie dough, and you guys are not ready to see how this looks under the brow bone. I've done it before, I freaking love it. Here we go. Oh, yes. Now tell me that that is not giving straight up pearl vibes. Oh my gosh. I'm hoping that it's catching on camera the way it looks in person. It's definitely got like that blue shimmer, but it does have like a little bit of pink, a little bit of yellow. It's gorgeous. It definitely makes me think of a pearl, and I can't resist adding some shimmer. So I freaking love it. Let's do this side now. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm getting kind of a lot of glitter in my eyebrow, but you know, 'tis the way of life. And oh, I love it. I'm thinking I'm going to add some eyeliner. I picked one out, I mentioned earlier. Let's pray it does not mess up the look, because right now I love it. I love it. Okay, so I've got two different eyeliners picked out. I've got this NYX Vivid Brights eyeliner that I'm thinking would kind of look good on, you know, like as a little tiny wing moment. The light pink matches Pearl's vibe. We've got like her peach color for her hair, but this is kind of giving me her shoe color vibes, and I think it would go good with the other pastels. So I'm thinking we're gonna try this. This formula isn't my favorite. It's a little chonky, but we're gonna try. Let's hope it doesn't mess up the look, like I said before. The other thing that I'm gonna do, I think, is do this white eyeliner from LA Girl in my waterline. Pearl's got those big old cartoony eyes, and I love it, and I think that adding a little bit of white to the waterline will really make that pop. So let's go ahead and do that first. Okay, so it's looking a little stark, which is, you know, kind of the point, but I'm gonna go ahead and go back into that like peach shade and smudge it out a little bit more to kind of try to blend them together. There we go. I think that's looking good. So now let's move on to that top wing liner. Okay, here we go. Let's say a quick prayer. And I'm not thinking I'm gonna go all the way in, but we'll see. Okay, so this one's looking decent, I think. Now for the hard part, trying to make them even. They're not 100% even, but I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I'm not sure if you can tell, I did get this like bright pink all over my eyelashes. I'm hoping that after we put on mascara, it kind of fixes itself. I'm gonna be using this Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I have just a little sample size of it, so I'm working through this one right now, and then I've got that Kosas one saved up too, and an unopened Essence one. So kind of a lot of mascaras right now, but let's go ahead and put this bad boy all over my lashes. Mascara is on. I'm thinking I'm going to leave the bottom lashes untouched just to kind of try to give that white eyeliner time to shine. I do enjoy this mascara. I find that it lasts pretty well. It doesn't really smudge on me and gives quite a bit of volume and length. Now, I will say that the L'Oreal Lash Paradise is a great dupe for this. You can find them on sale all of the time at different drugstores, and you know, even not on sale, it's like half the price of the Too Faced Better Than Sex full price, and I totally love that one. I don't have it right now because I'm working through all of these other ones, but it is a great mascara. So we're kind of near the end. We need to do lips, and I'm thinking I definitely do want to go back and add a little bit of blush. So let's do that first, and then we'll go to lips. Well, I decided to add that blush off camera. I just went in with the same shade from that e.l.f. Cream Blush palette and built it up a little bit, and I'm really loving how it looks. I'm going full pastel clown vibes, and I am obsessed. I love it so much. I think it looks really, really good. The pink eyeliner at first, I was like, I don't know. I love it. I love it. I think it really pulls it together, and I really like it. Now, I do think maybe it took away just a tiny bit from the pearl vibes maybe, but I can't deny I love the way it turned out. So let's go ahead and do lips and finish this off. So I've got this Buxom lip liner in Dolly Danger. It's just kind of a neutral pink color. I think that, you know, the eyes are so bright, I don't want to take away from that. So I'm just going to line my lips a little bit, smudge it out with the brush on the other side, and then add a tinted lip balm on top. Now I'm going to go ahead and use the Nars Tinted Lip Balm. This is in the shade Orgasm. If you watched my recent video ranking lip balms, you know how I feel about this. I totally love it. So I'm just going to put it on. It's not going to add a whole lot of color, but it's a nice pinky tone, and it's got that really nice sheen, which I think we're kind of missing a little bit right now. So let's apply this. There's that balm on. You can see it definitely did add a little bit of shine, and it feels much more moisturizing, which personally I enjoy. So this is it. This is the finished look. What do we think? I'll put up the comparison of Pearl again, but what do you think? Do we see Pearl vibes in this look? I think so. I don't think it's like exactly, like I don't picture Pearl particularly wearing this makeup, but I think that this makeup embodies Pearl. We got the fierce brow, we got the beautiful pastel kind of blown out with that sharp edge because, you know, she's a beautiful, graceful dancer, but can still hit those like super sharp moves. And I just love it. I love it so much. So I've been really enjoying doing this series. I'm hoping to continue. I've got, you know, a backlog of characters in my head that I'd like to do different looks for. If you have any characters that you would like to see me create a look for, either cartoon or, you know, live action or whatever it may be, leave them in the comments down below. Let me know what you think of this look. And until I see you next, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay happy. Bye!